So, I'm gonna post like diaries of whatever in my life this up and coming year, but I feel like the first two diary videos I'm gonna post on my day in a life video is this first diary and then the second diary, which will be a follow up of my baptism. So, to really break this down of my journey leading up to tomorrow, Sunday, when I get baptized, we have to go back my freshman year of college. And I always was in the faith. Like, I prayed, I knew of the faith. I went to Catholic school since preschool to high school. And when I was younger, I was really in the church. I was in the choir. I knew a lot. But my teenage year, I kind of shy away from the church a bit. And then senior year to freshman year of college, I was getting constantly rejected. And rejection has a funny way of making you perceive yourself. It makes you questioning yourself, sometimes your self worth, questioning if you're good enough, and making you feel guilty of, I guess, liking someone, having those emotions. But I think for me, I felt guilty if I moved on because I was like, in my head, I was like, what if the person I met supposed to meet is meeting me when I'm focusing on myself? And what I mean by that is like I'm so focused on myself that I can't even give them a time of day. But then comes along March of 2024, and freshman year I was slowly getting back into my faith, but like truly getting back into my faith. It was deeper. It had more meaning. And March of 2024, second semester, this girl from Jersey I liked, we were talking. I was being patient. Like, this was my first time, I think I was being very mature in this whole talking stage, whatever you want to call it. I was being very patient. I wasn't forcing anything. I was taking everything for what it was. And in the end, things didn't work out because she still had to get over her former situation that happened. And I took that as a sign that right now wasn't my time. It wasn't my time to be in a relationship. And I told myself, I remember, um, I'm like, what if I won't say what if. I said, let me see how far, if I focus on myself and really get a stronger relationship with God, how far it would go. And now here we are. The crazy thing, I remember March, I think is in my Bible actually. March 15, 2024. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. And I remember my dad gave me that Bible. I remember asking him, I was like, I want a Bible, yada, yada. And I remember that moment. And that moment was so interesting because I think the first book I ever read was Job. And to me, that's like a interesting book to read as you're trying to get more into your faith because that's not an easy read. But I read it, and then I think everybody knows this. If you know me personally and we talk about faith, I love talking about apostle and disciple Paul. And Paul's story interests me a lot because he persecuted, killed, and condemned Christians, but yet he was converted to be a disciple of God. And that really intrigued me. And I was like, I want to read everything about this guy. And I read most of the New Testament, all the letters. I read Acts. Uh, I read, I ended up to Revelation. The only two books I haven't read all the way through is Mark and Matthew. But I'm currently reading John, and a couple months ago I read all the way through Luke. And I just recently reread Acts, and Paul really, I guess, got to me because he's a deep thinker. He's very profound. And what I realized from reading the book of Luke is that Paul has some similarities to Jesus. Like how they speak, how they question things, how they make you see a different perspective, make you think beyond what your natural thought is, your natural logic. And through reading about Paul, that curiosity just kept growing. And then my guy Troy boy, and you got Connor and the rest of the Alter family. I could name everybody, but I'm gonna just keep it short. Troy, Connor, and also Joel. He was one of the leaders this past year. Troy and Connor invited me to the first Alter meeting of the 2024-2025 year, my sophomore year of college this past year, and they basically were just guiding people on their journey. And through going to those studies, really sitting in the Word this year, I finally was like, I gave myself a year. I truly got deeper into reading the Word, understanding God, building this relationship. Let me get baptized this summer. And it was a crazy moment because I remember there was a night, I forgot the specific what they called it, but a lot of the people at the altar, Christine, Kate, Ada, Joelle, Edward, who else? Samara, Mariah. There's a lot of names. They all got baptized that night. And there was such a moment for me. Because even though I wasn't getting baptized, I could just feel the presence. And I was like, I remember telling Chris, Troy, and Connor, I was like, I'm getting baptized this summer. And then I remember in the IC I wrote it. And I remember I told my dad, I texted him, I was like, I'm getting baptized. And the previous summer, when I was becoming more new and getting deeper, just really getting deeper into my faith, I said that, but there was still that 50-50 hesitation. And I hesitated that summer. But I think it was because God wanted me to really sit with that commitment, really sit with that understanding, because it's not just something that just happens, you know? And me really saying it, the next time I asked my dad this summer, I wasn't like, there was no, you can question it or you ready, like any question he threw at me, I was like, okay, I'm ready. I understand the significance. I understand the importance. I was able to sit through a year of really, really being in my word, really be disciplined, really being observant, and now I'm getting baptized Sunday. It's such a surreal moment because I'm just thinking back of those days where I was frustrated, upset, mad, angry, and now I'm in such an opportunity to prophesize my belief, my faith in Jesus Christ. And it's just going to be a beautiful moment to see my friends, my family, and my home church see a moment of me prophesizing my faith. And it's just surreal. Like, I don't know what I'm going to feel tomorrow necessarily. Like, when I get baptized, when I'm in the water and get baptized, I don't know what feeling that's going to feel like. But I know it's just only the beginning. It's like one step towards a bunch of other steps that are going to make this journey fun, interesting, worth it. It's not an easy journey. This year has shown me with a lot of things, a lot of personal things, and a lot of things that could deter someone from the faith. But I was like, God has shown me time and time that He's with me and He's doing stuff for me. So it's just going to be such a surreal moment. I want to thank my family that's going to be there and I can make it. I want to thank my home church, and I want to thank all the people from the altar that can make it, because that really means the world. I remember in a moment in time this summer where I felt a little disconnected from the altar. I'm not going to lie. But I didn't let that deter me and just make an assumption about the community. The community is great. It's just this summer, it feels like God just had me in a season where I just had to be alone with Him. So it felt lonely at times. And it felt like everybody else was connecting or hanging out, or they were like it just felt like that. But I think the adversary was trying to make me feel that way, and now I'm like, I understand, like, not everybody at that altar community is going to be a close friend, but that doesn't matter. As long as they're a brother and sister in Christ, they're brother and sister Christ to me and everyone in that community. And I just want to thank the altar as well, that Bible study community, because y'all helped me along the journey this sophomore year. Y'all going to continue to help me my junior and senior year. And I want to thank my family for just being there. Like, whether I said anything personal or anything, just being there. And I hope y'all enjoyed Diary 1. Diary 2 is going to be me after the baptism, talking about that experience, and I probably have some videos from people recording and that feeling. But this is Diary 1, my journey to baptism, and my faith journey is just going to get further and further. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, but I trust in God and Jesus. And I can't really figure what's in store in the future, but I know what direction I want to go to, and I just got to trust God and Jesus to guide it and give me opportunities and allow me to help others on my journey. And this is Diary 1.